Hello, English students. Welcome to your English class number 27 of the advanced level. Alright, open your PowerPoint, go straight to slide number 2, where we're gonna see ways to refer to marijuana. Oh, teacher, why are we learning it? Well, it is important for you to know what people around you are talking about, and if somebody offers you so you know what it is, and it's good to know. Okay, so I have here some words in English to refer to marijuana. So they gonna refer to marijuana as marijuana, which is a Spanish name, but in America they're gonna talk about it referring to it as marijuana, but also with using some names in English. So the most used name is weed. So if they say they want to buy this drug, they want to buy marijuana, they're not going to say, I'm going to buy marijuana. They're going to say, I'm going to go buy weed. Okay, so weed, it's very used. It's used a lot in a general way. Other three slangs used for to refer to marijuana are pot, herb, and grass. Okay, so herb and grass, I think, has some sense. Pot, it's like vase, doesn't make much sense, but anyway, it's also called pot, herb, and grass. And when you're talking about the cigarette made with marijuana, you call it joint. Okay, so joint is the cigarette. All right, so we are talking about it also because the subject of the class today are drug lords, so famous drug dealers and their histories. So let's begin the class. Let's understand what is a drug lord. So a drug lord is a person who is a leader of a great cartel or gang that illegally traffic drugs. The drugs trade is a multi-millionaire industry that is ongoing all over the world. It is an easy way out to people who live in difficult financial situations to try a better life, especially in third world countries. Drug dealers from Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, among other countries, travel long distances to find that consumers. United States and Europe are strong markets for the trafficking. In the course of history, some drug dealers stood out and became famous for their violence and their use of inventive ways for trafficking. Many of them are the subject of a number of books, movies, and TV shows. So let's talk about our first drug lord, which is El Chapo. The notorious Mexican drug lord Joaquin Guzman Loera, the man who became known as El Chapo, in English means shorty, was the kingpin of Sinaloa cartel, the source of the largest percentage of drugs imported into the United States every year. Cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamine, and heroin, all delivered by the ton through elaborate and land and air distribution channels. Guzman seemed fated to the drug trade. His uncle was one of the original Mexican drug smugglers, and young Joaquin was soon involved in family business. In 2006, violating the pact between cartels, Guzman ordered an assassination that spurred what has come to be referred to as Mexican drug war. This conflict between cartels has resulted in over 60,000 deaths and 12,000 kidnappings. Along the way, Guzman has become a billionaire and one of the most powerful men in the world. Let's continue on slide number 5. Guzman counted on his connections to remain free, and only in 2001, he was in business since 1993, he was arrested and imprisoned, but he made himself comfortable in jail through bribery and intimidation, until his eventual escape, which involved a bribing of 78 people and cost him over $2 million to engineer. Arrested again in February 22, 2015, his second escape from a maximum security prison was on July 11th, same year. How did he do it? He slipped through a hole under the shower in his cell and escaped through a mile-long tunnel that led to a construction site on the outside. On January 8th, 2016, the drug lord was recaptured by the Mexican police, and in January 2017, the Mexican government extradited Guzman to the United States to face drug trafficking and other charges. Guzman appeared in U.S. federal court and pleaded not guilty to over a dozen charges. On July 2019, El Chapo was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years, along with ordering to pay 12.6 billion in restitution. Okay, so this is very recent, right? Okay, so going back on time, we're gonna talk about Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo. Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo is one of the biggest drug traffickers in Mexican history. He's also the founder of the modern Mexican drug trade. So he created the trade the way it works now. He was the first one of the first ones to come up with the idea of having the drug trade the way it is now. Commonly known by his nickname El Padrino, the Godfather, Gallardo formed the Guadalajara cartel in the 80s. He controlled almost of the drug trafficking in Mexico and the corridors along U.S. border. Felix Gallardo graduated from high school and studied business in college. He took a job as a Mexican federal judicial police agent. He worked as a family bodyguard for the governor of Sinaloa State, Leopoldo Sanchez Celis, whose political connections helped Felix Gallardo to build his drug trafficking organization. Slide number 7. Gallardo, Rafael Quintero, and Ernesto Fonseca Carrillo took control of Guadalajara in 1980 and established ties with the Federal Security Directorate, DFS, ensuring that they could build a billion-dollar marijuana trafficking organization with police protection. However, Felix Gallardo switched to cocaine trafficking for the Colombian Cali cartel and Medellin cartel in 1984. So at the beginning, he would only be trafficking marijuana, and after a while, like 4 years, he switched to trafficking the Colombian cocaine. Gallardo was finally arrested in 1989 for the murder of the Undercover Drug Enforcement Administration agent, the DEA, Enrique Kiki Camarena. Felix Gallardo was serving his 37-year sentence at the Altiplano Maximum Security Prison in Mexico, but was transferred to a medium security facility in 2014 due to his declining health. He has writing as much in his own prison diary, published by Gato Pardo magazine in 2009, under the headline Diaries of the Boss of Bosses, and his story is told on Netflix show Narcos Mexico. Slide number 9. We're gonna talk about the man, of course. Pablo Escobar. If one man could be said to represent the idea of drug kingpin, that one man would be Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. His father was a farmer and his mother a school teacher, and despite being from a family of hard-working people, he initiated his life of crime very early in in his life. Just let me fix something here. Still a teenager, he would sell fake diplomas, steal tombstones to resell, and also stole cars. So he began not with drugs, but with some other minor crimes. As the cocaine industry grew in Colombia, thanks in part to its proximity to Peru, Ecuador, and Bolivia, major growers of coca, Escobar became involved in drug smuggling. In the mid-1970s, he helped found the crime organization that later became known as the Medellin Cartel. While running the Medellin Cartel out of Colombia in the 70s and 80s, Escobar's ruthless tactics ensured a steady flow of cocaine into America. Some sources estimate that 80% of the cocaine imported to this country came through Escobar's enterprise, some 15 tons per day at its peak. So 15 tons. That's a lot. And per day. Jesus. Pablo Escobar was once worshipped by the Medellin people doing his philanthropic work in poor communities, building them houses and providing food and medication. Escobar became one of the world's richest men with an estimated worth of nearly $10 billion through eliminating rivals and fostering corruption within the Colombian government. Officials who didn't accept the bribery often met violent ends. He assassinated political candidates, judges, police officers, and reporters. He planted a bomb on an airplane to kill a candidate for president. The candidate happened to change the flight date and he was not on that plane, but 110 innocent people were there. Ultimately, Escobar would be responsible for the deaths of 2,000 people. Escobar's acts of domestic terrorism eventually turned the public opinion against him. By the time he gunned down in 1993 while fleeing across rooftops from government soldiers, his reputation was in decline. His fame, however, has outlived him. He is the subject of 7 films and documentaries and 3 TV shows. Alright, so we have here the vocabulary of the video. So there's a very nice video. It's a cartoon where they compare the life of El Chapo with Escobar. So it's very interesting. It's a cartoon. It's nothing violent. You're not gonna see like dead bodies and things like that. It's just a comparison of them both. All right, so that's the class for today. Hope you guys liked it and I see you in live class. Kisses. Bye bye.